welcome to episode 504 of Prog, and today I'm talking about Brian Eno's Ambient 4 album On Land. We're kind of doing the series, aren't we, really? We're, doing it. Well, I might just carry on. I might just carry on doing Eno and related ambient stuff, because you know what? I'm enjoying talking about it. It's fun. Well, not fun. Well, yeah, it's fun. I don't know what it is. But anyway, On Land. On Land, it's the fourth one. This one was released in 1982, in March 82. And there's a little, what I like about this is on the back, there's a little way of setting up your speakers to give you the ambient surround sound. A third speaker plugged in at the back. Before we had surround sound, you could do it yourself with an extra speaker. And that's what this was kind of intended for. Yeah. Story of this, I first heard this because a friend of my mother's called Lenny. I know you're out there. Hope you're out there, Len. I don't know. I haven't seen. Still got your guitar. If you want your guitar, Len, get in touch. It's in the. I've kept it safe. It's got its own hard case and everything. I've looked after it. Len's dad's guitar. He gave it to me, but I'm just looking after it for him. But yeah, Lenny gave me a cassette of this album. And he said, "Oh, I can't get into this. Maybe you'll enjoy it." And because he knew I like Brian Eno, and I'm trying to think. It was probably my first actual experience of ambient music. Oh yes, indeed. And the good thing about this tape was, it was for some reason. Again, I think it was an American copy of it for an Editions EG cassette, but on both sides had the entire album. So you could, it must have been about like a 90-minute tape. It was weird. So if you put it into your cassette deck, remember those? Yeah, put your doubly on. You don't want the hiss. Metal tape, no. But yeah, if you put it on and you had one of those tape decks that did the auto play on the B side, you could listen to this album for a full 90 minutes and just soak it up. And that's what I used to do. Just listen to it for like 90 minutes on, and it'd just turn itself over, and unless I dreamt that. I like to think that's what really happened. So yeah, I think this is probably my first experience of proper ambient music, and it must have come when I was about 15 or 16, and yeah, I was kind of really. I didn't get it straight away. I thought, "Oh, this is a bit weird." I was a bit like Len in that respect. It was like, "Oh, right, okay, this is a bit odd." But I'd listened to enough of Eno's stuff, and I'd heard, I'd had his compilation album. He had a compilation album out, and there was some stuff on it, like from Music for Airports and that. So I was kind of in that area, and I thought, "Oh, this is interesting." And then it was interesting. I found it an interesting and enigmatic album. Now, what's the difference between this album and the ones that have preceded it, or this is what I like to think, is Eno is tying these pieces of music. He's actually trying to create an atmosphere of a place and a time. Oh yeah, and it gives it away on the back. Lizard Point and Dunwich Beach, autumn 1960. And rather than these being abstract, I mean they are kind of abstract, but there's detail. There's detail in this. You know what I was saying about some ambient music requires focus and some ambient doesn't. This, I think, requires your focus because you notice things in it, and it's a bit darker. Whereas Larage's Day of Radiance is full of light, and so is the Bud album. This is a bit of a murky. These aren't sunny days that Eno's representing. It's like mist and cloud and rain on your cheek. That's what I get from. That's what I get from this record, which sounds a bit strange. But it's interesting looking at who's on this. Bill Laswell is on bass. Here's a name. John Hassel again on trumpet. Michael Brook turns up. Daniel Lenoir doing live equalisation. And so, you get some really interesting people playing. John Tokes Patoka went on to be very big at doing 12-inch remixes. Did them for Genesis and Peter Gabriel back in the mid-80s. I just noticed his name there, didn't realise that. Do pay attention, Locke. Do pay attention. I will write that out 100 times. And so, yeah, it's an enveloping. This one really gets to you, especially on headphones. We can really, you can really, like I say, find yourself lost in the mist. That's what I'd call it if it wasn't called on that. Brahms and Mist. That's not very good, but yeah, it's a very deep. It's a deep one, deep, dark, murky, misty. But there's some really nice. I think it's really clever. It's a really clever album. I mean, I wouldn't even put it as. I'd say this is a bit different from ambient, because ambient is, like I say, it's more abstract. I mean, this is abstract, but it's trying to represent a place, and so abstract isn't that, if you know what I mean. Abstraction doesn't come from trying to define something, or does it? Or am I talking myself in circles? I don't know anymore. But I think it's a very interesting one, and of the 4 albums, you've got a very interesting sequence of music, and that's without drawing in John Hassel's album that they did, which again eludes me. That one that John Hassel did. And so yeah, it's quite a journey through the ambient 1, 2, 3, and 4. We go from space. It's a different kind of space. That's what he's trying to put out here. Now, it would be interesting to know if this surround sound speaker setup that he put on the back here actually works. I'd like to give that a go, but I don't know. I've already got my setup set up. You see, I've already got it. I can do the pseudo 5.1 or whatever it is. I can always. The great thing about me is I can put everything in stereo outside all my speakers. You see, that's how I listen to me vinyls, and that controversial. But yeah, if you, I would include. I'm getting off the point. What was I talking about? The sequence of albums. If you include Fourth World music in this, I know it's not part of the ambient range, but you can. They're kind of related. And Hybrid by Michael Brook. If you like this album, if you like this album, you're not familiar with Michael Brook's work. He appears on this. Remember, Hybrid. It's almost like a sister album to this. It's unbelievable when you listen to them side by side. They do sound very, very, cut from the same cloth. And maybe I'll talk about that one next. But yeah, it's a very interesting album, and I'm really grateful that Lenny gave me his tape. So I could. Well, it kind of started me on this journey really into the ambient realm, and. I forgot all about where it's only when I looked at the record and I remembered it was his tape that was probably my first real experience of a long form ambient album. Yeah, I've heard tracks and clips from elsewhere, on compilations or whatnot, but this was the full Monty, as it were, the full English. So yeah, do give it a go. I do think you'll come away from it thinking, wow, that is a different that's a different use of music. We're trying to geographically create a sense of space and time. You are on that beach, you are in the dunes, you are lost in the forests, sort of thing, and that's this record. Very evocative, very evocative. In terms of rating, I'm gonna rate this high. I'm going for it. I'm gonna give this 5 lizard points out of 5. That's 5 lizard points out of 5, and I do think it sums up, it resolves the series really well. So what next? I'll talk about Apollo. I've got it here. I pulled it out. This is the next one. I'll do that. Maybe I'll do a Hybrid. Who knows? I don't know if I've done. I think I've done Possible Music's Fourth World Volume 1. I think I did that with the reissue because that was reissued on Glitterbeat label. Well worth picking up. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. Do give it a listen. So like I said, five lizard points out of 5. That's pretty good, isn't it? My name is Darren. I've been talking about Ambient 4 on Land by Brian Eno and a host of guests. Do check it out. Thank you for watching. Don't forget you can give me all your money there's links in the box below. I am a hungry cyber whore YouTube whatever. Please leave your comments in the box below. And if I say yep or nope, it's not that I'm being dismissive. It's just I can't go into great detail. If you want details, if you want to really drill me for answers, that's what the live streams are for. Tuesdays, 10:30 GMT or BST, depending on what time of year it is. Be there. Well, I'm usually late because the Wirecast software craps out and it takes me 2 or 3 resets of my computer. But you've seen them. You've probably seen the reruns. Oh yeah, we do reruns here. But if you really want me to answer a question, do come by. Sometimes I ignore you on purpose, just to annoy you, because I'm a tinker like that. I'm a little tinker. I am. And on that bombshell, I'm off. No, it's not the smell. Only one more thing to say, and that is prog on.